This is a collection of things that we pulled out of a recent dig. You've seen some of the points that I've posted. This is all the broken stuff, most of it anyway, and the bones. You can see these are massive pieces of bones. Some interesting tools, and look at some of these massive unfinished points. I guess who knows what they did with these or why they made them this way. Practice points. I mean, there's no telling. There's a good girl. That's Daisy. This is an interesting one. This is really deep. This came out about 3 feet deep. And this is an axe. You can feel it's ground here and here. It was tied on, hafted, and that would have been the working end of it. The handle coming down. Hi guys. And some of these blades, these are really, really nicely made. Broken, of course. A lot of stuff that you find is broken on the surface and under the ground. This is interesting. Iron ball. This is the in Central Texas, the hill country is full of iron, natural iron. Most of it's, there's nothing, I don't think the Indians really used it. This, though, has been pecked and ground smooth. It's not naturally like that. It's interesting. These rocks, a lot of these have been used for one reason or another. This is yellowed from being burned, but it's got an interesting feel to it. I like this. It's a very thin piece of slate. It's limestone, actually. It's been smoothed around the edges here. It almost has a shape of, I don't know, maybe a buffalo. And you can see all the broken arrowheads. It's usually what you find on digs are broken things. It takes a lot of work to find the whole ones. Then you get to these big, huge pieces of bone, had to belong to buffalo. You can see a fresh break there when I dug it out of the ground. But this stuff, this old fracture, this is where the Indians smacked this thing, and same way here and here to get to the marrow of these giant joint pieces. That's what lasts. Everything else just disintegrates. And these are about 1.5 feet deep, 1,500 years old maybe. It's without getting it radiocarbon tested, who knows. The teeth come out of it. This actually was very, very deep. It's about 2.5 feet deep, close to Paleolithic era, probably early Archaic. So probably a deer jawbone. Again, another formed piece of limestone. Who knows what they used it for? Some you can tell are obviously grinding stones, others are not. So a couple more interesting things that have come out of this particular dig. I don't know if you can tell, but this super shiny polished stone. Obviously grinding stone. There's some pecking here. You can see the obvious wear there. This is it's not a worked piece. It's a heavily burnt piece of limestone. This is what you find in these rock middens here. These burn middens. If you were to wet this down, it would turn red. It gets to that color, red or sulfurous yellow, from being overheated, superheated for a period of time. That's what these burn pits were for. You also find things like this, freshwater mussel shells, ancient, very old, fragile as they come out of the ground. I imagine they used them, but they eat the heck out of these clams. And these things don't exist anymore, really. They have some Texas freshwater clams still are around, but they're being overrun by Asian clams, invasive species. This is something interesting I found west of San Antonio, east of San Antonio, along Cibolo Creek, about 1.5 feet deep. This is a lightning whelk shell, and what's left of one. So they would have traded this from the coastal tribes. For some reason, they wore this smooth, and I don't know, they cut that or had to use it for a purpose, almost like a ladle or something. And by contrast, you can see, so this would have been a lightning whelk. This is a lightning whelk, actually, a shell I found from down the coast. And this is the core. This is what, you know, it's a little bit smaller. It's pretty about the same. You can see how thick this is, though. Some of these older shells are just a whole lot thicker for whatever reason. That's how they grow, I guess. And this is an interesting piece. It's just a chopper. My brother's got a really cool hammerstone. He came out of these digs, but it's pretty old. You can a lot of caliche deposit on it from being buried for so long. But neat. Fits in the hand nicely. It's a pretty lethal edge. I imagine this is what they use it for smashing bone like this. The butcher sites is probably work really well for doing exactly that.